Back to the channel, welcome back to DN. Today we're talking about whether or not the Green Party should stand down in Makerfield to pave the way for Andy Burnham. So if you are unaware, Andy Burnham is running in the Makerfield by-election in Greater Manchester in the coming weeks in a bid to become the next Labour leader, succeeding Keir Starmer. Potentially after what would then be a leadership contest. But to qualify for that, Burnham needs to be a sitting MP, a Member of Parliament, and as such he's standing now for the by-election in Makerfield. So should the Green Party heavily contest this seat? It's a topic of debate at the moment. The Green Party, obviously led by Zach Polanski, running predominantly on the back of a progressive left-wing economic agenda. They've recently seen electoral success in by-elections with the election of Hannah Spencer, as we said, fairly recently. So they do have some electoral success recently. But should they stand down to pave the way for Burnham in Makerfield? Because Labour are going to face the problem or the threat politically of the Reform Party in Makerfield, who in that very constituency performed very, very well recently in the local elections. Now, we can expect it to be slightly different when it's the by-election with Burnham, because the electorate are likely to understand that this is a direct way to get Keir Starmer out. And part of the reason why Reform have been performing so well more recently, particularly in the local elections, is people are fed up with Labour, and more importantly, people are fed up with Keir Starmer. So the electorate, or rather the population of Makerfield, are going to be tasked with essentially the idea, if they want to think maybe longer term, to get rid of the Labour government completely, regardless of the leader, or in the more short term to elect Andy Burnham as their MP initially, and then likely eventually as Labour leader, to remove Keir Starmer and to kind of give Labour another shot through an Andy Burnham government. Now, an Andy Burnham government would likely be economically to the left of Keir Starmer. He has the B network in Manchester, which is a very popular for bringing the transport network and the buses into public control and public ownership. That is something potentially that he would look then to extrapolate across the rest of the country, something that is much needed. So should the Greens contest this seat? Because if they do, they risk splitting the vote, which potentially paves the way for Reform to come in and to gain that seat. Though, as I said, it's likely that people are going to consider the fact that if they do elect Burnham, that is essentially also a vote to remove Keir Starmer, because it is very, very likely that if Burnham is elected back in to Parliament, that he will contest against Keir Starmer, and polling suggests that he would beat Keir Starmer, unlike, for example, Wes Streeting at the moment, who it would be predicted to lose even to Keir Starmer, as unpopular as he is. So the real hope for the Labour Party is to move back towards their roots to the left. And this is really the last chance for Labour. Andy Burnham is in polls the most popular politician, with a net favourability rating of +6. He's pretty well liked. He's current mayor of Manchester. He's well liked there. He's implemented some good things there. For example, the bus, the B transport network. So this would really be the kind of last roll of the dice for Labour in its current iteration. So should the Green Party kind of stand down and not contest a seat heavily to allow Burnham a kind of crack at the whip? Because fundamentally Burnham's politics is not too different from the Greens left-wing economic agenda for sure. And it would gain the Greens some goodwill with many voters across the country. Although I guess the counter-argument to that is the Greens themselves maybe see themselves as replacing the Labour Party, and they may see this as a seat that they can win outright, in which case they could be inclined to contest it quite strongly and quite heavily. I do think personally that they should kind of step aside, stand down for the sake of the country, in all honesty. I really do think a Burnham government could be progressive, certainly more progressive than Starmer. And I would say it's definitely worth a crack and worth a try before 2029. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Let me know below. Should the Greens kind of stand down, stand aside? Should they fight strong? What do you think they should do in Makerfield? Comment down below and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.